Good morning. Those of you who have gathered a little bit early, we're going to begin with a couple of songs to warm us up. So feel free to sing along out there. We're listening. I feel a little bit like Romper Room. I don't know if you remember Romper Room.
I do.
Did all my friends have fun at play? Here we go. 1, 2, and... I hear the music.
I hear the music
down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
I hear the music.
I hear the music
down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
I hear the music.
I hear the music
down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
And the whole wide world
Is my home. I got a new day.
I got a new
day down in my soul.
down in my soul.
I got a new day down in my soul. Down in my soul. I got a new day down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
And the whole wide world is my home.
And I love the silence down in my soul. I love the silence down in my soul. I love the silence down in my soul. And the whole wide world
It's my home. I feel the power.
feel the power
down in my soul. I feel the power. Down in my soul. I feel the power. Down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home.
Yes, it is.
And the whole wide world is my home.
Okay, continuing on. Here's a tune that our friend Mark Shepard wrote a few years back. It's a song. It's a lively song about being still. That's what it is. Whoops, that's weird. Okay, hang on a second, folks. Try to get this. Oh, I know why. I know why. Capo 2. Here we go. It's like this. Be still the water.
Calm waters run deep. Be still the water. And the hush falls over the sea.
Be
Still the water. Calm waters run deep.
Be still the water, and the hush falls over me. Speak the truth, and the truth will set you free. Speak the love, and love is all you'll see. Embrace the quiet, and you will feel fulfilled. Embrace the silence, Thank you. And we're going to welcome Dottie Freeman up to be our platform elf this morning.
Thank you, Roger. Good morning and welcome, Unity friends, all you out there in YouTube land. My name is Dottie Freeman, and I'm the Vice President of our Board of Trustees and your platform assistant today. And luck would have it, I happen to have this in my car, and it reminded me to remind you, hope springs eternal. Everything is blooming today, and it just feels like we should honor that. So let's take a minute now to bring our awareness to the presence of God right here, right now. Center in your heart and breathe in the feeling of love. You may have a sense of a person that you feel very dear to, a puppy, nature. Allow yourself to feel love. Allow yourself to feel kindness. There's so many acts of kindness that we are witnessing these days. Feel that in your heart. And now, feel gratitude. Thank you. The Heart Math Institute tells us that part of being human means that from time to time, we will feel lower level vibrations, such as being frustrated, angry, judgmental, or even revengeful. But if we let these lower vibrations, feelings run our life, they create separation and eventually polarization. We can raise our vibratory rate with feelings like love, care, compassion, kindness, gratitude, and forgiveness. As more people consciously raise their vibration by practicing these heart qualities, it inspires even more people to do the same. These higher vibrational heart qualities are especially contagious once we integrate them as a way of life. And my prayer is from Philippians 4:8 and 9. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about these things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Whatever you have learned and received and heard from me and seen in me, put these things into practice, and the peace of God will be with you. Amen. And now for the daily word. Our daily word today is understanding. Do we have a slide for that? Okay. So say this together with me, the affirmation. I open myself to spiritual understanding. When I feel frustrated by a personal or professional challenge, or feel unsafe, or concerned about a situation or event, I seek greater understanding. When I try to understand, I open my heart. Maybe I just need to gather more information or request the advice of someone I trust. If I am in conflict with someone, I practice understanding by listening with a curious mind and a loving heart. I grow in spiritual understanding when I discern and heed my inner guidance. Beyond conscious thought, spiritual truth begins to illuminate my consciousness. As I release all that stands in the way of understanding and stand firm in the love that calls it forth, I am guided by my growing spiritual understanding. And the scripture for this is from Psalms 119. Your decrees are righteous forever. Give me understanding that I may live. And one last time, let's say that affirmation again. I open myself to spiritual understanding. And now together, let's say our mission statement. The mission of Unity Church in Albany is to awaken to and embrace the divine essence of all beings through prayer and service. And now our vision statement. We celebrate oneness with spirit and with the divine nature of all. And now we have some announcements. Things that are happening at Unity. So as they come up on the slide, I will. There we are. Okay. So, as always, we have prayer support for you. You can call Unity Albany Prayer Chaplains at the Unity phone number and extension 13. And we also will accept your messages that you leave unityalbanypraise@yahoo.com. We check that regularly, and then we will call you back. You always can call Silent Unity 24/7, and there's the phone number, and you can take your camera if you'd like and take pictures of this if you want to remember those numbers and emails. And there are other ways to pray, but they may be coming up on the next slide. I'm not sure. Aha. So first I'll talk to you about the Sunday fellowship that is happening starting today. At 9 a.m. today, Carol Morris was the host, and it is an open chat for you to connect with other people. So, I can hear myself louder now. And then, starting today at 12:30, Corinne Reinhold will be the host of a chat room on Zoom. So if you want to know what the Zoom link is and the password, you go into the newsletter that was sent out this week, either Tuesday or Friday, and you will see this, and you can meet them there. Next. And I think we will let Reverend Steve say a little bit about the Course in Love.
Thank you, Dottie, and good morning, everyone. Well, we're moving into 2 more sessions of A Course of Love, and even if you did not make the other sessions, you are invited to attend it. We're having a lot of fun. It seems like people are opening their hearts and minds to a new way of looking at life, and A Course of Love has touched me deeply over the years, and so I'm really pleased to be able to support you in that. And then after this series is over, then people that have been involved in it, some of them may wish to continue and form a study group of A Course of Love, and you'll hear about that, and so on. And also, I want to give a shout out. There's some new things happening. It's great to see these fellowship classes. The board and I have spent all kinds of time trying to find out how can we embrace all of you out there given what's going on. And so we've done that. And now Roger is planning on doing some kind of fellowship connection on maybe a Tuesday night. Is that what's going to happen someday? We don't know yet.
Well, this Tuesday at noon we're doing it.
This Tuesday at noon. And the link is in the newsletter. So Roger will be doing a fellowship kind of connection this coming Tuesday at noon, and you'll be hearing more about that. And another heads up, sometime next month, looks like it's going to be Wednesdays, we're going to be doing a Membership 101.2. We're going to be looking at new ways of doing membership and some information about what is unity, what are some of our core beliefs, and all of that. There'll be more information coming soon on that. And if you have ideas about how we might support you during this time, let us know.
Okay. And I'm not sure if there's another slide for this about our 9 o'clock. There it is. On Thursday at 9 a.m. every week, the prayer chaplains are hosting a prayer hour. And we start with a daily word, and we have a meditation, and then we have fellowship. And this is an opportunity also for people who want to pray, who would like prayer. You can ask for prayer right then and there on that thing. So it's a time for fellowship, but it is also another opportunity for prayer. And the link you will find at unityalbany@yahoo.com. And snap that with your camera, and it'll be right there. It also probably is in our website. Just in the newsletter. Okay. Are there any other announcements? Of course. Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer will be in concert here. They won't be literally here, which was our original intention, but they will be online tonight at 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Zoom. And you have to sign up today by 4:30 p.m. because they're going to be getting ready to do their workshop. So you have till 4:30 to buy your ticket by signing up online. And at unityalbany.org, you'll see the link for that.
Once you sign up, they will send you the Zoom link.
If you didn't hear what Roger said, if you haven't signed up, once you sign up, you will get the Zoom link. I don't know that because I did that. And if you haven't had this opportunity to experience Bob Sima and Shannon in concert, make sure you do. They're so incredibly engaging and heart-opening and amazing singers. Anything else? We did it? One more. So, as always, we thank you for your continued and consistent support to navigate these times together. So, you can continue to give any tithing and donations that come from your heart, come from a place of gratitude and love for this church by going online by way of PayPal, and that is through www.unityalbany.org. Or you can mail a check and send it to Unity at 21 King Avenue in Albany, 12206. I think we did it. I think we can bring up our musicians now.
shadows flee, the valley is deep, but evil cannot conquer me. Your rod and your staff, they protect me. You give me rest, you give me peace. Fear not, keep on, watch and pray, walk in the light of God's highway. I see the shore from these troubled seas, this tiny ship that carries me. It is not yet, but it will be. So heaven come, it's you we need. Fear not, keep on, watch and pray, walk in the light of God's highway. I'm holding on to you. I'm holding on. You're holding on to me. You're holding on. I'm holding on to you. I'm holding on. You're holding on to me. You're holding on. I'm holding on to you, Lord. You're holding on to me. Fear not, keep on, watch and pray, walk in the light of God's highway. Fear not, keep on, watch and pray, walk in the light of God's highway. Walk in the light of God's highway.
As we're encouraged to walk in the light of God's highway, maybe we have a vision of ourselves doing so. What is God's highway for you for this moment? What is the highway of Spirit calling you to, beckoning you to do with perhaps new awareness? And perhaps within the message of God's highway is a felt sense of oneness. For there is no separation. We are all one. And in our statement of oneness, which you see on our screen, we affirm this every Sunday at Unity in Albany. And it's for a reason that we do so. One is a reminder that no matter what seems to be a true reality, the ultimate reality, the spiritual reality, is one of oneness, of unity consciousness. And so let's affirm this together with a sense of knowing and embracing and affirming for ourselves and for all creation, our statement of oneness together. The power of Christ's love now releases me from any sense of separation from Spirit or others. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe. God is God, the good, omnipotent. And now we prepare for meditation in the silence. In the silence we know, in the silence we claim.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. And in the stillness of this moment there is love, there is love. In the stillness of this moment there is love, there is love, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love, sweet love, sweet love.
In the stillness of this moment, in the silence, the power of stillness and silence is forever ours. So I invite you to close your eyes if you wish and open to an awareness of the power, of the beauty, of the love that is in the stillness right this moment. And there is silence. Ultimately, in the universe, there is silence. And yet there is a heartbeat of the world. And as we take a breath, we open to an invitation to embrace the heartbeat of the world, perhaps beginning with ourselves. Have you heard recently that you are the heartbeat of the world, and collectively we are the one heartbeat of all that is? And then as we embrace and accept our divinity, we know this is true. For there always is a deep place within us where the deep peace, the spirit of love, of the knowingness that all is well for ourselves and for others. And yet, in our mind that is sometimes believing it's separate from all that is, we see and we hear and we believe the reality of incredible pain and loss and hopelessness and suffering. And we may fill in what's been present for us at that level of one reality. And in this moment in time, we can choose again. And as we embrace what has caused us to move off center of awareness, of oneness, of unity, of love, as we embrace the calls for love, we know that all is well, that we have hope. We are returned to awareness of an answer inside of ourselves for hope. And as we move into this silence now, in this silence we have an awareness. And we hear these words of Viktor Frankl as we move into this silence. Viktor Frankl, who was imprisoned in a concentration camp in World War II, reminds us, everything can be taken away from a man or woman, but one thing, the last of human freedom. The freedom to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And as you rest in the stillness, in the silence, you have a choice. During these challenging times, I invite you to nurture hope and see yourselves being grateful for your life every day. And so move into the silence, into the stillness. And as we return to awareness of our current place in time and space, our heart and mind have a sense of expansiveness, of spaciousness, of freedom. A freedom that passes all understanding, a freedom that is forever ours, a freedom to know and to see and to believe. And in our heart and in our mind, we embrace all of our loved ones. Some of us have loved ones that have passed on recently. And we know of others around the planet, those that are always in our hearts. And we remember and we embrace the eternal bond of love that is always binding us heart to heart and mind to mind. And together in wholeheartedness, we step out and we do what is ours to do, to live as one, and to know and to believe. And so it is. God bless you.
In the stillness of this moment, I feel love, I feel love. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love, I feel love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know
How beautiful, how beautiful. So much appreciation and love for our musicians and for your hearts and for being with us on this day that we have created and co-created in ways that sometimes, well, we wonder why we do this. So your gifts of waiting and stillness is a slide that we see now. One of my master teachers over the years has been Eckhart Tolle. And The Power of Now is one of his first books that grabbed the consciousness of the planet and continues to shift us, and he continues to. And he says, in a true emergency, the mind stops. You become totally present in the now, and something infinitely more powerful takes over. So perhaps in a few moments ago when we took some time into a meditation, maybe it was in a stillness and a silence, that you had a moment of something infinitely more powerful than this emergency called the coronavirus. It's possible. And then maybe not. You know, all of it belongs. The slide that says all of it belongs gets our attention in ways that are really transformational, because in spirit we realize that everything is already whole. Oneness already exists. And so is there anything in creation, including the world that we create, as I look out these beautiful sanctuary windows and see blossoming trees, and spring has sprung, thank God. And I don't know about you, but finally. Yeah. As I left Missouri, spring had sprung in Missouri. So I left, and so I had to miss it. I said, well, I'll get a chance here in Albany, and so here it is. And being out on the trails and so on is just awesome, isn't it? And so springtime is a way of getting into our heart and realizing that, well, yeah, life is a question of balance. I want to read from the author of this. Alan Wolfelt, Dr. Alan Wolfelt, is a person that has changed my life in a book that he wrote, Understanding Your Grief. When my younger brother passed away in 2006 after a very long and sad illness that all illnesses are, it made a huge difference for me. And I said this earlier, I think it was my first lesson, I said something about grief bursts, because all of this was up for me. I mean, yeah, I could say all of it belongs, and so sometimes when we get into saying, well, all is good and all of this stuff belongs, and people that sometimes don't have another understanding of illusion, well, in the illusory world, it's an illusion, so get over it. Well, that's what I would call spiritual bypassing. I've learned that's another book, and someday we'll talk more deeply about it, even have a class on it. Spiritual bypassing is when we don't open to the deep spiritual work that is ours to do in the midst of whatever is on our plate, whatever is in our world. And I would say right now, I don't know about you, but my plate is hell, it's overflowing. I mean, really. Just when I think I've got my center back, I finally got my face mask, thanks to some people in the community. I was late in getting it, and my order will be arriving from, I guess, Amazon, April 29th. Way to go, Steve, right? So anyway, but I had my face mask on, and a couple of days ago, for the first time, I walked into a grocery store with my mask on. And I was in tears. I said, it's come to this. And I was looking at everything with new eyes. And part of me was into the pain of it all, into the pain and my pain, and talking with people and knowing what's going on in my life and the life of loved ones. And I breathed deeply. In some ways, I'm glad that they couldn't see my mouth, because my mouth was quivering. And I had some tears. I'm fine with crying. What the hell? Got to do it. And I was flashing on For a while, I thought I was going to be a full-time hospital chaplain or hospice chaplain. I took the training while I was in Kansas City to do that. A whole year of an intern. First training I did was an intern at a level 1 trauma center in Kansas City. Research hospital it is. And a level 1 trauma center is a hospital where all the trauma, the major traumas are ambulances go to. And they have emergency room, they have high-end physicians and equipment and so on. And the chaplains were part of a team, of the trauma team. Every time there was a trauma coming in that we were paged, chaplains were paged, we would go to the ER and we would be there to do what is ours to do. Quite often it was holding sacred silence in the midst of apparent horror and chaos and death and pain and suffering. And so I remember when the first time we as chaplains, about 8 of us, new chaplains, had a tour of the hospital. And they took us by the ER. And we were right by a room that a code had just been called. It was a heart attack, a stroke, and the patient had to be resuscitated, the old emergency kind of horrors kind of thing. And we were there for quite a while. We just stood outside the room. We could see in, and the glass was open. We could see in, and the room was packed with everybody. All kinds of technicians, all kinds of physicians, nurses, doing what they knew how to do. They were all doing it in sync. And I suddenly got an awareness of, this is really perfect. Everyone is doing exactly what they're meant to do. And there was something special and loving about that. And I felt an energy rush in my heart. And I don't know what I said, but there's a woman standing close to me. And afterwards, we were pulling away and sort of talking about what we observed. And she said, "Steve, I noticed something changed in you. What was that for you?" And so I told her what I just shared with you. That in the midst of, can we make a decision to say that all of it belongs? All of it belongs. So I want to read what Alan Wolfelt, that wrote this book, Understanding Your Grief, was. And he has this organization called centerforloss.org. And the full name of it is Center for Loss and Life Transition. And he supports people all over the world these days. He says, in a posting he just did April 16th, a few days ago, it's a question of balance. We need both. We need to honor the light of the dark and the dark. We need to honor the happy and the sad. And everything in between, because all of it belongs. All of it is authentic. There's nothing more authentic than seeing that code team working on this patient. Nothing more authentic than me to grieve the loss of a loved one. So there's nothing more authentic for you to feel pain and tears and sadness and anger and rage. A feeling is one of the most authentic expressions of humanity. We cannot deny it. We can shove it away and mask it, cover it up. And whatever is authentic is normal and necessary. So normal in what way? Well, if we co-create a reality, we have also co-created this situation that we call the COVID-19. At some level, I'm not aware of exactly why or how. So what? If we co-create this, we also can co-create another possibility. He says, usually we're out of balance because we choose to shine our awareness only on the good stuff. That's what I call spiritual bypassing. So we're not asking you to disown or deny or repress your pain, your suffering, your sadness, your sorrow. If anything, if you're willing and able and wanting to go another step, is you embrace it. Embrace it not that you like it, but you embrace it with a consciousness of love, a consciousness of it belongs. I don't know why it belongs, but it belongs. And the important is that it's authentic, and whatever is authentic is therefore normal and necessary. So my tears upon hearing about someone that passed a few days ago is normal and authentic. Your grief about anything that's ever been in your life. We talked to my first lesson about grief bursts. That's where I got this from Alan Wolfelt. A grief burst is a normal expression of healing, a call for continued healing. A grief that as we embrace, we also understand that, well, the pain is there, but it's lessened now because I've allowed myself to express. Usually we're out of balance because we choose to shine our awareness only on the good stuff. But right now, in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, we're at risk for the balance tipping too far the other way, in the direction of fear and despair. Yes, in difficult times, we must remember to hope. I want to read this part again, because this is the part that really got me from his posting of a few days ago. But right now, in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, we are at risk. You're at risk. I'm at risk. Everybody here is at risk for the balance tipping too far the other way, in the direction of fear and despair. I tell you, when I've been down and in my fear of despair and incredible tears and so on, and just a few days ago, someone would tell me that, I'd say, oh, hell, get out of here. I don't want to hear that. There is fear and despair. Yes, Steve. There's a part of me that is my observational self. And when I'm aware of that self, which is, by the way, starts with a C, Christ self. My Christ self is observing that, well, Steve, you're in despair and fear right now, and that's okay. Yes. What is your observational self telling you right now? How about in the midst of fear and despair, what are we able to do to say, well, this is something that I understand. It's difficult times. And here's what he says. In these difficult times, we must remember to hope. Now, sometimes we could spend hours, when I was in ministerial school, we would spend hours debating hope. Is hope airy-fairy thinking that, oh, everything's going to be all right and just don't worry, be happy, everything's fine. There's something about that that's true. And the grief's journey, he continues, requires contemplation and turning inward. In other words, doing what we're doing right now. What people all over the country, all over the world are doing right now. We're called to do it because it's our very nature, because we're divine beings. Called to tune inward, to tune into another place, to shift our perception to something that's greater than what this appears to be. It requires a willingness to embrace the grief journey, to turn inward. It requires depression, anxiety, and loss of control. Oh, not. Tell me that. Loss of control? I just thought I was doing so well, and all of a sudden I'm on my knees in tears or anger. I was pride that I've gone for months, close to a year or more, without giving a nasty driver the universal signature. I mean, I was really proud of that. Imagine that. I don't know why I said that. We have to delete that. But you know, it requires going into the wilderness. And so, I'm not saying that none of us are not doing that. We are. I've talked with so many people in the course of love, in all the sessions that we're doing, in your board meetings, the board meeting we have, we talk about what's up for us. And quietness and emptiness invite the heart to observe signs of sacredness, to regain purpose, to rediscover love, to renew life. Searching for meaning, reasons to get one's feet out of bed, and understanding the pain of loss are not the domain of the medical model of bereavement care. Let's say that one more time, because it's powerful. Searching for meaning, reasons to get one's feet out of bed, and understanding the pain of loss are not the domain of the medical model of bereavement care. In other words, it's not when you have some model that will tell you what is true. Experience has taught me that it is the mysterious spiritual dimension of grief that harbors the capacity to go on living until we too die. So what he's saying, it's what a lot of us already know. It's why we're here as spiritual beings having this human experience, that we have a belief that there is hope and there's something we can do. In our next slide, we see hope. Look at the picture. If you can see that picture, it's of the blue skies. I was seeing that in the trail just yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, and right now. So what is hope? It's an expectation of a good that is yet to be. It's an inner knowing that the future holds positive things. It is trust that no matter the current circumstances, the days to come will reveal happiness. It's forward-looking, yet experienced in the now. Oh, that's beautiful. So what is hope? What is your expectation of good that is yet to be for you? This could be a conversation starter for you and people you're with maybe after this call, or maybe if you come to fellowship after time. What's your expectation of a good that is yet to be? Have you shared that? If you're like me, one time people accused me of being a recovering negaholic. Always focusing on the negative. And I would say it, well, look at this. If you're a recovering negaholic, your number has been punched right now, right? This is a big time to be aware of a tendency to be negative. So what's your expectation of a good? It's an inner knowing that future holds positive things. Do you know and believe that your future holds something that's incredibly positive for you and for the planet and for everybody you love, no matter what the situation is? Do you believe that you can trust no matter what the current circumstances are? The days to come will reveal happiness. And some of these you can turn into first-person affirmations. I declare that the days to come will reveal happiness, for example. I trust that no matter what the current circumstances are, the days to come will reveal happiness for me. I am forward-looking yet experienced in the now. For the now is all there is. And the next slide, hope is the reason and the outcome. I love this one. And this is from A Course of Love. Hope is a manner of acting as if the best possible outcome you can imagine could truly occur. Hope is a willingness to accept love and the grace and cooperation that flow from love. Hope is a willingness to ask for help, believing it will come. Hope is the reason and the outcome for which we pray. I love that. And this trail takes us who knows where, the path that we are on, perhaps we are not aware of. So hope is the reason and the outcome. So if you were to pick a slide of your life, a place that brings you some peace and some positive thinking, some transformation from whatever it has your attention now, what would that be? What if you created a slide and put something in it yourself? You know, I invite you to do that. And those of you that are techie, if you do it on PowerPoint, fine. Send it to us. And we'll put some slides up here of what you have created. What is your reason and the outcome? Hope is the reason and the outcome. Create something that says something to you that's powerful. And share it with us, and we'll share it with everyone else. I want to close with some faith in action, and this is the last one, embracing hope. The concept of embracing hope. First of all, are you willing to even consider that you will embrace hope, or that you haven't embraced hope? And will this say, I said earlier, well, let's embrace the sadness, the pain, the horror, the COVID-19. Yes. Yes. And as we embrace that, radical acceptance of what is what's happened. Not that we like it, but we embrace what is. We embrace what is, and that's hope. Here's some action steps. Faith in action. Mindfulness and meditation. We could talk a long time about different ways to be mindful and to meditate. There's many different approaches. The main one is really to decide that there must be a better way of experiencing this here and now. And or if you're always doing it, I've been now meditating since the 80s, early 80s, and still do about 30 to 40 minutes every morning. And my life would not be complete if I weren't doing that. I think I have my challenges now. Holy moly, times I've missed it. I haven't missed one now for about 1,700 days. But the importance of it is very, very real. And whatever mindfulness and meditation is for you, this might be a time for you to dive in and to ratchet it up, to be more prayed up and more meditated up than you have ever been in your life. How about letting go of your illusion of control? Some people don't like the S word, surrender. Letting go. Surrender. Practice hope-building activities and shifting your perception, choosing hope. So those are some things you can do to embrace hope. So I'm going to close with, we have up here 7 reasons to be of hope, and in the center, a powerful, powerful center of it. But quite often we call this the Christ candle. Now, if this works right, Roger, save me. Imagine this. Embracing hope. Roger, I embrace hope with you.
Hold that down.
There we go. Hey.
Should we do this one first?
So what we're doing is, by the way, you have your own altar at home of some kind, something new that maybe you've had something for decades. How about something new? What does light mean to you? What does a candle mean to you? Is light more than the absence of darkness? What we're doing here is, in some ways, it could be a ritual. Oops, we did an oops. We were supposed to have this done before the service started. Who said so? But what we do know is, as we take a moment, there's something incredibly powerful about this scene. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of us here in this sacred space. And there's hundreds, perhaps, with us right now. This is what it's about. Your heart knows. We're in this together. Thank God. God bless you.
Last week, I came to the Easter service here through YouTube, and I heard Steve suggest that we could keep Jesus alive within us. Oh, closer, yes. We could keep Jesus alive within us, and that's part of what the resurrection is about, is allowing that wisdom and inspiration to live in us. And I took it a step, I don't want to say further, differently, because John Prine had died recently, and I thought about my need to keep him alive. And sat down after the service and sang some John Prine songs, and he's with me. And Jesus is with me, and all of the teachers, all of the inspirations that have touched me live in me, and I want to practice knowing that. So thank you, Steve. And in honor of John Prine, and to underline the things that Steve was just talking about, I'm going to sing a song from we're going to sing a song from his latest CD, his last CD, called The Tree of Forgiveness, and the song's called Boundless Love. Woke up this morning to a garbage truck. Looks like this old horseshoe's run out of luck. If I came home would you let me in? Fry up some pork chops and forgive my sin. Surround me with your boundless love. Confound me with your boundless love. I was drowning in the sea, lost as I could be, when you found me with your boundless love. Sometimes this old heart, it's like a washing machine, bounces around till my soul comes clean. And when I'm clean and hung out to dry, I'll see your smile in the sunlit sky. Surround me with your boundless love. Confound me with your boundless love. I was drowning in the sea, lost as I could be, when you found me with your boundless love. When I find myself at risk of falling from this jagged cliff, I look below, I look above, I'm surrounded by your boundless love. Surround me by your boundless love. Confound me with your boundless love. I was drowning in the sea, lost as I could be, when you found me with your boundless love. You surround me with your boundless love. You confound me with your boundless love. You surround me with your boundless love.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was beautiful. Brian. Oh, the boundless love does surround us, enfold us, and as we consider our offertory time of us celebrating and giving to a source of spiritual food, which I would imagine for many of you is Unity of Albany, and maybe there's other sources also that nourish you spiritually. And we give thanks in advance for your gifts to support this ministry that you love and cherish so much. We have an offertory statement, and as we say it, just say it with a sense of knowing and believing and trusting that all is well and the flow of life, which includes abundance in many, many different forms, is continuing. And we say thanks in advance. As we say our offertory statement together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are blessed. Father God. Amen. Amen.
So I wrote this song some years ago to help me through difficult stuff that was going on in the world. It's an Easter song, but it's not only an Easter song, so I offer it to all of us today. Oh, wait a minute, I'm in the wrong key. That really helps if we're all in the same key. We decided that earlier, didn't we? Oh, dear. This is it. Let's try that again now. Forsaken and alone, I hang upon the cross. God did not take the cup from me. I was not spared this agony. So I look to the hills and hold a wider gaze. Compassion is the way, God's peace is mine to take, and I will rise above the fear and sorrow to face a new tomorrow. I will rise to open heaven's door, to live forevermore. I will rise, I will rise. I shrivel in the cold of winter's hold. No sun to warm my fragile leaves. Bright colors fade in bitter breeze, but the frozen ground holds seeds for April's blooms. They will sprout in early spring. Tiny sparrows sing, and I will rise above the fear and sorrow to face a new tomorrow. I will rise to open heaven's door, to live forevermore. I will rise, I will rise. Forsaken and alone, we fear what lies ahead as we face the pain and grief. Will morning bring us sweet relief? So we look to the hills and find a wider gaze. Compassion is the way, God's peace is ours today, and we will rise above the fear and sorrow to face a new tomorrow. We will rise to open heaven's door, to live for
Okay. So we move into our closing, I guess. Yes? To our closing song. We have a couple of them, actually. And first one was our Easter song from last week.
More about rising.
More about rising.
Rise up, oh my soul. Here we go. 1 and 2.
Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul, and spirit flow. Let it flow. Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Show me the kingdom wherever I go.
Again.
Rise up, oh my soul.
Rise up.
Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul, and spirit flow. Let it flow. Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Show me the kingdom wherever I go.
Show me the kingdom.
Show me the kingdom wherever I go.
And we'll close with one old favorite here.
Imagine you're joining hands with the entire community, and how about the entire planet, our neighbors, as we affirm what we know is true, that there is peace on earth.
Let there be
Peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony.
and let peace begin with me.
Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous time. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Amen.
God bless you. Remember, all is well, all belongs, including you. Have a great week. Bye. Love you.
Bye-bye.